will be, I think it's director in this game, the director for this actual play for Onyx Path Virtual Con 2024. With me, I have a lovely cast of characters, although one of them is missing in action, RIP. So we'll just go clockwise around the overlay. Let us start with Luna. If you'd like to introduce yourself and your character for this actual play.
Of course. I'm Luna, or Druid by night. My pronouns are she, her, and today I will be playing Jasmine Wolf, the provocateur.
Fantastic. David, you are next in the clockwise order.
Hello, everybody. I am David. Excuse me. Pronouns are he, him, and today I am going to be playing Sir Richard King, the operative.
Fantastic. Just Claire. Is the just silent?
It can be. Sometimes I'm just Claire. I will be playing Tanya Hyde, a detective who is undercover as a journalist in this game.
Fantastic. And that cover may serve you well. We'll find out. Bliss, last but not least.
Hello, I am Bliss, pronoun she, her, and I am playing Donna Dare, the adventurer.
Fantastic. So, for those of you watching who may not be familiar with They Came From Classified, if you're just here on a whim, They Came From Classified is a role-playing game aimed at emulating not just the spy genre of the 60s and 70s, but also kind of the fact that the characters are playing actors in a production of a spy movie or TV show from that time period. So there's plenty of opportunity for comedy as well as straight-laced action and gadgetry. Please assume that any mistakes are my own. We're playing this live, and not even like you can know a rulebook inside out, and you'll still occasionally make mistakes. So if you know how the rules work and something is, and I make an incorrect ruling, that's on me. Just please accept it and move on, because there's a 20-second delay between me making the incorrect ruling and you getting angry about it, and I don't have that emotional wherewithal to care. So a bit of kind of bookkeeping, so the audience is aware of how things work. My players have been given a list of cinematics that they can use. Ordinarily, this would be drawn randomly at the start of the session, but because I wrote the one-shot without really knowing who the characters would be, I just gave them a curated list of theoretically useful cinematics. I have set a flat cost of 3 successes to refresh a used cinematic, just as a backup in case they really want to reuse one. There will be a slight twist to the rules that I will introduce later on, involving the rewrite pool, and I will explain that for both audience and players alike at the same time. There'll be no behind the screen information here. I like to keep everything out in the open. And the framing device for this one shot in particular is it is the second part of a 2-part pilot episode for a new series called Steadfast, and a bit of like meta stuff to help you think about how your characters behave physically. We'll start with the briefing scene that the first episode started with, and then we'll go into a recap of the recap montage of what's already happened to your characters leading up to the point where the adventure starts. So your operations room is clinical, professional, and secure. A wooden bar runs along one wall, a couch faces a bookshelf, and a handful of seats face the large television screen. The power light blinks as the briefing begins. So where are your players in the scene? Where are they, like relaxed on the couch? Are they tense, leaning against a wall? How do they react during briefings typically?
I would have found myself a comfortable seat and really just gotten ready to take in all the information.
Jasmine is definitely lounging.
I'm probably doing some bicep curls on the couch. I've got my 20-pound weight always.
Tanya will be nursing an enormous mug of tea with several dozen rich tea biscuits.
Excellent.
Uh,
Doing the 3-second dunk so it doesn't.
Yep.
Fantastic. So, as I say, the power light on the TV blinks as the briefing begins, and it's pretty standard as briefings go. Agents, the voice of your handler, their identity and mystery rolls from the television speakers, broken by soft static. We have need of your services once more. Dr. Evan Ilmore, famed biochemist and radical environmentalist, has built an undersea base in the North Sea and is preparing to launch a rocket carrying an unknown chemical agent at a large population center. Your mission is to infiltrate his base, disable the rocket, and bring him to justice. The screen flashes aerial photographs of an oil rig, as well as several chemical breakdowns and formulae, before ending on the logo for the Security Threats, Explosives and Armaments Division of the United Nations. Do you have any react? How would your characters react to this fairly standard briefing as briefings go?
Sounds like a day at the seaside then.
I've always wanted to go and infiltrate an ocean base. Perfect.
This should be fun.
Oh, I hope my muscles fit into the wetsuit. Those can be really uncomfortable.
You know they make bigger wetsuits, right?
Yeah, but then they're loose in all the wrong spots. It's just a nightmare.
I'm sure you'll look fabulous either way.
Oh, of course. That wasn't a question.
Okay.
Well, I
And
think
then
that brings us to the question: how are we going to get in?
well, as you say that, camera fades, and then we get the splash. Previously on Steadfast, dramatic sting of music. A cluster of boats circle an oil rig, film grain and audio distortion revealing it be stock footage. The camera pans down, plunging beneath the waves to reveal an ocean floor dominated by a sprawling complex of hexagonal bubbles and connecting corridors. Here and there, red lights wink in the ocean's murky depths. We see our heroes infiltrating the complex, making their careful way through the corridors until something goes wrong. Which of you makes the mistake that kind of alerts the security to your presence, and what is that mistake? Or I could get you to roll, and we'll see who gets the lowest roll.
Yeah.
Okay.
I like
Sure.
that one.
Okay. This is almost certainly going to be I'll say larceny or survival for like sneaking, plus dexterity or cunning.
Ooh.
All right.
And if you're tied,
Right.
you know, all tied results have failed. Get the lowest result and
Yeah.
trigger the alarms.
Well, let's see. Yeah, I only got a single success with a 9 from my 1 die pool.
Sorry, baby, can you explain just really quick what die I'm rolling for what?
Yes, fantastic. So I gave you the choice of two. So all dice pools are comprised of a skill or an attribute. If you can argue a different one to the one I suggest, that's fine. But for this, if you just pick the highest of your larceny or survival skills and add that to your highest of your cunning or dexterity attribute. And that's the number of D10 that you roll.
Got it.
And then an 8, 9, or a 10 is a success, and 10s count as 2 successes.
0.
Okay, 0, 1, 3.
7.
Okay, coming out strong.
Damn.
Yep. I'll be using up all my good rolls at the start of the game so that later on.
Okay. Ordinarily, as there was a failure for this, you would get a rewrite in the pool, but as I'm more just using this as a way of judging who triggers whatever the alarm is, I will not do that in this instance. But Donna, what mistake do you make that triggers the alarms and summons the goons, essentially?
I'm sure we came up to some kind of like central mechanism or whatever that somebody was like, oh, just give me like 5 seconds, I can hack this. And I'd be like, we don't have 5 seconds. And I just punch it.
Fantastic. And
That'll do it.
you trigger a very audible alarm somewhere in the somewhere else in the facility, and you can hear it kind of echoing around the corridors, and you can see slightly offset. There's just someone with like a big red light just flashing on and off to indicate an alarm at the very edge of the camera's field of view.
Well, you were right. We don't have 5 minutes anymore.
Oops.
And then you hear the like canned audio of footfalls, and we see our heroes caught in a running skirmish with pressure-suited goons wielding spear guns. A near miss here, a sheriff's box there. Things are clearly dire. We see them surrounded on their knees, hands on their heads. Our heroes are cuffed, hands above their heads to metal poles. They stand on a grilled floor, and Dr. Evan Ilmore, a tall, high-cheekboned man in a lab coat, who, for fan casting purposes, would be Peter Cushing kind of vibe, stands on a short flight of stairs. You have interrupted my schemes for the last time, agents. Too many plots have failed because of you and the security threats, explosives, and armaments division. Not this time. I'm not making the same mistake again. He's cut off as the door behind him slams shut with a pneumatic whoosh. No, Doctor, you are making a new one. Thank you ever so much for the keys to your kingdom. I think I'm going to enjoy being queen. With that, the intercom shuts off. A gurgling sound reveals the room is about to slowly start filling with water from pipes in the ceiling, and Dr. Ilmore turns to face you, an embarrassed look on his face. You know enough to guess that the voice on the intercom was his former second in command, Dr. Helena Gaius. You know little about Dr. Gaius, save for her interest in radical ecological change and several doctorates in physics, engineering, and marine sciences. So as I say, he turns chagrined to face you. Well, this has changed the power dynamic slightly. I can get you out of the cuffs, but... And he turns and starts hammering on the keypad on the door. Yes. I can't get you out of this room. I propose a truce. We work together to escape this base. You let me go my way, I let you go yours. And we clash once again in the future.
I have a question out of character very quickly.
Yep, for sure.
Are we using quips in this
Yeah,
one
I'm
shot?
happy for you to use
Okay.
any and all mechanics in the game.
Okay, cool. Sweet. I think at that, Jasmine would look up at her cuffs and say, well, if these restraints get any tighter, I'm going to get excited. Why not?
Okay. So that's like 3 of you have agreed. So he's just going to assume that you're all on board.
Yes.
For the sake of brevity.
Yeah, sure. We'll see how this goes.
And he hurries over to each of you and takes a rather complicated, like almost excessively complicated key out of his lab coat pocket, and really awkwardly, particularly in Jasmine's case, reaches above you to unlock the cuffs. The feeling returns to your hands as there's a solid mechanical chunk and water starts pouring in from the ceiling. It does hit a surface beneath the metal grill of the floor, so you've got a bit of time before it fills up. But he himself seems on edge, rushed, as if there's a time pressure here that he's not telling you about.
I have a quick question. I've only played this game once before, so I'm not super intimate with the rules, right? Trademarks. I forget the mechanical benefit that those provide and like how that works.
I believe a trademark gives you 2 enhancement on specific roles and gives you directorial control. I'm not, I've played a little bit, but
Right.
I think that's how that works.
Okay.
I'm sure people in chat will correct me if I'm wrong.
Sure. Well,
Oh wait, is
so
that quips?
No,
It's
quips.
+1 to the dice pool
Cool.
Yeah, +1 to dice pool.
for each time you've used it.
Yeah. So I ask about the trademarks because I have one here that says, if you can't find a door, make one. So I can't really think of a better time to use it than the time when the door's not working and we need an alternative exit. So for that one, I have that tied with the might skill. So I'd like to make a door, but I guess I'm wondering what in the room if the locked door or inoperative door is not going to be an option. Is there an alternative that I could force my way through?
There's the pressure wall next to the door. So the room that you are in, just glancing around. Sorry, I misremembered. Trademarks are specialized skills that you can do that only you have access to because you have them.
Gotcha.
It's 2 additional dice, not +2 enhancement.
Understood.
If you use a skill or attribute that reflects the trademark, and so if it's successful, you gain directorial control. So yes, looking around now that you're no longer handcuffed to a metal pole, you can see that you are in an external one of these. Hexagon was the wrong word, but dodecahedrons, I guess, D12 side shaped rooms on the seafloor. You must be on an external one because there are a series of portholes that just look out into the depths beyond. So that is an option if you wanted to die, I guess. But the only realistically safe wall for you to break through is the one next to the door. Which, to be fair, a closed locked door is just a wall.
That is true. I mean, I'm not opposed to trying the door. That usually seems to be the first way to go. I just figured I'd ask.
Totally fine. Based on what you can see and how Dr. Ilmore's initial reaction, there is a control panel next to the door that presumably when the door is not remotely locked, can open it. There may be an override. You don't know. If any of you are tech minded, there may be an override, but you need to, investigate it to find out.
Well, I'd like to give the door a try.
Okay. You go up to it. It doesn't open. If it is automatic, it's not currently unlocked.
Right. Sorry, that was on me. I'd like to try a more persuasive approach to
No,
to get the door open.
I guessed I just wanted to cover all the bases because doors are a trope in role-playing games, and I didn't want it to be hey, it is actually just unlocked. He's just being an idiot kind of thing.
Fair enough. I would have rolled with it either way, but
how are you persuading the door to open?
Really, I kind of just want to try and see if I can just, maybe he wasn't pushing or pulling hard enough. So let's a little bit more force.
That seems like a probably athletics.
Yeah,
I could see an argument for might or stamina, but if you have a preference that you'd like to argue for, that's fine as well.
Well, the one I have the trademark tied to is might, so that's what I was thinking.
Go with that then. What does that trademark? Would you like to read the trademark out for?
Oh, actually, I don't think it fully details it. It just says the name of the trademark and the associated skill.
Okay.
Yeah, there's not many blurb that goes with the trademark.
Fantastic. Oh yeah, I was thinking of tropes. Never mind.
Yes. So let's see. Go ahead and roll for that right quick. And got a total of 3 successes.
3 successes. Okay. Yep. that was enough. It wasn't, like a terribly complex door. I will slight retroactive because I was lost in the rules checking something. There is a minor a +1 complication on this that you'll trigger an alarm. So I guess your choice now is, do you fail at opening the door but don't trigger the alarm, or do you open the door and trigger the alarm?
Do we care about subtlety at this point?
I think subtlety has gone out the porthole now.
Yeah,
Yeah, I mean,
I'm-
who is it gonna actually alert? The bad guys already here.
Yeah,
I'm down to keep dancing if you all are.
Well, I always love a good tumble. Let's go.
Okay.
Oh.
Technically, if you wanted to, you do currently have directorial control because the trademark applied and you succeeded.
Okay.
The alarm it does start to blare quite loudly, but if there are any minor changes to the scene you would like to make, that is fine.
Hmm. No,
Equally, if you can't think of anything, that's fine too.
I can't think of anything at the moment. I did have a quick question though. As far as the quips, because I know like there's the list. You say the thing, and then it's a +1 on your next roll. Is there something? Do you just want us to say, "Oh, that was my quip," or do you want us to like send you our lists of quips?
No,
that we have?
I will absolutely trust that it is a quip on your character sheet.
Okay. Okay. Cool. Yeah,
Same as I'm trusting you with your dice rolls. Like there has to be some measure of trust, otherwise the game falls apart. So
of course. I was just asking because I'd used one right there with the good tumble thing, so just wanted to make sure that. Yeah,
that is completely fine. Thank you for checking. I appreciate it. Beyond, dramatically lit by red flashing strobe and underpinned by an extremely harsh klaxon sound, is stock hallway number 3 from the studio's selection of pre-built sets. Here and there, you can see where the extremely practical hardware and carpet has been damaged by blocking tape, but it stretches out for a good. Do you all prefer meters or feet?
Doesn't matter.
doesn't matter to me as long as I know what you're talking about. Then I don't. Yeah. But
Okay.
I can do that.
It stretches out for a good like 30 or 40 feet before taking a bend out of view of both you and the camera. But beyond the klaxon and the flashing light, you cannot currently see any signs of the security forces you have no doubt alerted. The pipes in the room behind you, the water pouring from them, as is dramatically appropriate, increases in pressure. And you can see that the water level is just below the grill now. And you can see swimming beneath it, large eel-like shapes that crackle every now and then with bioelectricity.
Oh my, this is getting a little hot water. We should probably pick a direction and run.
Well,
Couldn't agree
happily,
more.
you have Dr. Elmore with you.
Yes.
All right. Yeah. So before this becomes a petting zoo, which way do we go?
He gives you like a quick searching glance, and then the submarine bay is this way, and he just takes off running.
All right. Let's follow.
Yep. Let's keep up with him.
Absolutely.
As a reminder, your briefing is to stop a rocket launch, not escape the base.
I think at that, Jasmine would actually stop. Wait, we're supposed to stop the rocket from launching? He's trying to escape.
Yeah.
So
I guess saving hundreds of thousands of lives is a bit more important.
A little bit.
Good point.
We can find him later.
This can't be that hard to find.
Is there like a sign on the wall like missile pad this way?
Astonishingly, no. Would you believe? You can see where signs have been for previous uses of this set, but right now there's no clear clear map.
Okay. Now I would imagine if there was some reconnaissance done, we'd have at least a general idea of like you're gonna land here and then you're gonna make your way here and do all that. So I feel like we would have at least had a sense of direction as far as where to go.
Yes, so if you cast your eyes up to the cinematics list, there is establishing shot, which allows you to travel to a potentially impossible location. You need not know where it is, you just appear there through montage.
Mhm.
You know, I think it's time for a montage.
Absolutely. Couldn't think of a better reason for it.
I like that it calls out. It doesn't reveal the location of a secret base, but you're inside it anyway. So like you will arrive in the missile bay. You just won't know how you got there. Because every corridor looks the same. But if you want to use that cinematic, I can flip it so you can't use it again until it's reused.
I'm down for that if everybody else is.
Yes.
Awesome.
Okay.
All right, let's do it.
Three rewrites in the pool, and already we're off script in the adventure, which I was like, there's every possibility this will happen with this cinematic in play, but I was happy to use it. So what follows is a series of just hallway running shots, pretty much. We all know the one. Different angles, high, low, one from the side as you run through the same hallway a couple of times. They mix up the lighting occasionally to introduce some variation. And the music becomes like a dramatic rise, and then it tails off as you step into the rocket bay itself, which stretches above you all the way to the top of the platform above. A rocket dominates most of it, steam issuing from its exhausts. At first glance, the room seems empty, but then you see a handful of technicians at a series of banks of machinery and some presumably maintenance crew walking between the chest high safety rails. One of them kind of well, I guess are you running here just to get here as fast as possible to complete your mission, or are you making once the power of narrative determines that instinctively you're approaching your destination, do you try to enter via stealth?
I would, if I may.
Yeah, like we still need to be quick, but we don't need everybody and their mom to know that we're here. So
okay.
Yeah, I'd probably be running in, but if someone was like, "Hey, stop," I'd be like, "Oh, okay, sorry."
Okay. Anyone who is gonna creep in, again, unless you have a better argument, larceny or survival plus dexterity or cunning works. The difficulty for this is, let's put it at 2, but you have +1 enhancement because of the alarms, making it more difficult for people to hear you.
that works out perfectly because my die pool for this is 1. And the +1 enhancement on top of the single success I got was just enough.
Okay. So you get in without anyone noticing you?
6.
Would you like to do anything with those additional successes? You could
Ooh.
add a rewrite to the pool, I think, for the cost for, was it 2? You can help someone with their next action. Hang on, I'll find the full list somewhere in here. Or I could just be crossing the wires and thinking of a different story path game that allows you to do things like that. It's entirely possible.
It's up to you.
One second, I just double checking because I don't want to. Okay, so you can you can add a complication for another character. You can create an enhancement for your character's next action, or you can increase the difficulty of a character's next action against you.
I will create an enhancement for my next action, whatever that might be.
Okay. So how many do you want to spend on that? I believe it caps at 3.
I'll do 3.
Okay. So whatever your next action is in the scene, you have +3 enhancement to it.
Wonderful.
Because you succeed so well, and because you got that many successes as well. You just get further into the room. Yes, David?
I had a quick question because I forgot about this, but I had used the quip before, and I know Jasmine had used hers before mine, so I forget. Was that an additional die, or was it
It's
just
an additional
a plus
die.
1? Okay, I didn't apply that with this roll or with this last roll, so I can do it for the next one, or if it's gone, then it's gone. But
No, it's fine. You forgot to use it.
Okay.
It's still there for you to use. I don't mind. I'm not gonna.
But yeah, I also wanted to make sure that Jasmine didn't miss out on hers as well, because
You.
yeah,
Fantastic. Thank you for looking out for each other.
of course.
It does cap out at 5, just so you're aware. Right. So, yes, Jasmine naturally gets further into the room and can see that there is a console. So the way the room is laid out, it's a big square cube essentially built. You believe directly beneath the main supporting air quotes pillar of the oil rig, which you quickly realize is the launch tube. Essentially, that's where the rocket's going to go up at the top of the oil rig and wreak havoc wherever it is pointed or sent to. Beyond that, a lot of the room is taken up with an inexplicable maze of chest-high safety rails and banks of machinery that looks important. And almost certainly, if it's in shot, there's going to be a whirring, clicking sound in the background. But as far as you can tell, the most important piece of machinery is there is a large computer bank, like sheet metal, pneumatic vacuum tube, whirring magnetic tapes. It would have the producer's note of make this look like what people think a computer looks like for a rocket launch control, regardless of the practicality. And then you've got the set designer's note of, sure, I'll raid like a power plant spare parts kind of vibe. And that's on an elevated metal platform. There are like 3 technicians working at it, and you can see in the middle of it there's a monitor in front of a big red button with a glass cover and 2 keyholes next to it. And Jasmine is only like 15 feet away from it, hiding behind one of these whirring, clicking banks of unspecified but undoubtedly important machinery. Sir Richard is in the room, but nowhere near as close. So it's like 40 feet away. Everyone else is just in the corridor nearby. Like they can see Sir Richard and Jasmine because that is the nature of the media, but not close enough to immediately respond.
Are there like guards in this room?
You cannot see any, although it would be logical to assume there are somewhere from your perspective. and ordinarily you might be able to hear them, but there is currently an alarm going off.
Gotcha.
So the age-old question: what do you do?
Let's see.
Well, there has to be an emergency stop button. There's always an emergency stop button.
It's usually a big red button.
It is a big red button. That looks like something that should be pressed.
Alternatively, that could be the emergency launch button. So
That was my
Emergency
first
launch button. Why would that be an emergency launch button? That makes no sense.
It feels like a major safety issue.
It does.
Yeah, you expect it to at least have like a cover over the top of it.
it does. It has a
It
glass
does.
case, glass cover, and 2 keyholes next to it.
Mm.
Also, they were trying to execute you with electric eels.
This space is just not up to code.
It's really not.
Not OSHA approved.
As you are taking this in and pondering your next moves, the intercom crackles and the voice of Dr. Helena Gaius comes out once again. The agents are free. Dr. Ilmore has escaped. Security on high alert. I will be moving remote launch control to my operations center.
Shit.
That complicates things a little bit.
I
So,
can get
Quite-
these guards off of us if you all want to try to find her. I can keep them busy for a while.
All right.
by yourself.
Having this very complex
Yes.
series of hand gestures that you've pre-discussed.
Absolutely. Yes, I'm quite talented that way.
Sign language is useful.
Whenever guards appear, I would like to use one of my, what's it called? Oh my god. Tropes.
Okay. They will appear whenever whenever it is dramatically appropriate. So the minute you
Excellent.
say, I can handle the guards, a patrol of 4 submachine gun wielding, pressure suited, like full scuba mask, making them faceless goons, walks into your field of view.
I think at that, Jasmine will look down at her wetsuit, make sure that the zipper is unzipped just enough to be provocatively
As you do.
appropriate, and stand and say, "Oh, hello there. Care for a dance?" And I'd like to use my trope fine lure.
Okay. Would you read that out for my benefit
Of
and for the benefit of
course.
everyone involved in this actual play, audience included?
Yes, there's something about you that draws others to follow your tracks, even if they're shooting at you along the way. Once per story, leave any scene drawing nearby enemies away through your retreat.
Fantastic. Yeah, once you stand up, you can see there are a couple of other exits from this room as well. There's like 2 in each wall, so there's 8 total. So you have your pick of them, essentially. But yeah, you can take off running. They bellow after you. Halt. There is the distinctive spark of a squib going off to simulate a bullet impact on nearby machinery. One of the inexplicably important whirring, clicking machinery banks throws out a flurry of sparks from a I guess a cannon hidden within it. But you are chased out of this room by 4 guards.
Excellent.
There's our cue.
Those of you remaining, all of the technicians and maintenance crew just kind of cower where they are. There's some violent occurrence to their quite, it's a rocket launch. It's quite a high stakes, high tension atmosphere as it is, broken by gunfire and a luring woman in a strategically unzipped wetsuit. Is not what they were mentally equipped for.
I'll bet they weren't.
So the
This-
guards are
this whole-
heading out towards where we are.
Yes. No. Unless Jasmine's leading them towards you, they will follow wherever Jasmine runs.
Oh, they're out. Okay.
Yeah, separate exit to the left, sure.
Sure thing. So you have as far as you are aware, an undefended room, save for the non-combatants.
Right.
Poor non-combatants. Okay.
All right.
Can I see if I can get some answers out of one of the science guys where the control room is going to be now?
Yeah, sure. If you want to approach them.
Okay, we'll go over and be asking, where's the control room now?
Okay. The minute you break cover, so to speak, they do hit a button on the console, which could be another alarm.
God damn it.
Right, 3 alarms going on.
Somehow
This
the
entire
volume
place.
of the volume of the alarm that is going off gets louder for a moment, and then you imagine offset there's an audio engineer doing the cut motion because something's like one of the microphones is blowing out, and it's brought down to more manageable levels. I think I'll need a roll from you for this. I don't think this is
Okay.
information that they're going to give up freely. That sounds. Oh, what are the different skills in it? That sounds like a command, possibly manipulation or presence roll. But if you have
Oh,
a
excellent.
different thing in mind, because you're not
Oh
really
no, manipulation is
persuading.
fantastic. I have many in manipulation.
Okay, we'll call
Excellent.
this. We'll put this at difficulty 2, with
Mhm.
a minor complication that so a +1 complication that if it's not bought off, there will probably be some false information seeded into whatever you get.
All right, I'm going to rub a quip on that with, I'll get to the bottom of this.
Fantastic.
1, 2, 5. 5 successes.
5 successes. Okay, so yeah,
Mm.
more than enough to buy off both the difficulty and the complication. So the scientists aren't faceless. They're wearing, the scientists because they're wearing lab coats.
Mhm.
But they have some modicum of like attention towards safety. They're wearing goggles that really won't help if the rocket launches while they're in here.
Yeah, just in case the warhead goes off.
Yeah, exactly. The payload, it might just attack the eyes. Kind of steps backwards from your force of personality, because that was a lot of successes. After one of their compatriots hits the button on the console, grabs a clipboard like from behind them and holds it almost as a shield between the two of you. It'll be the remote one, and just kind of, to the extreme frustration of the other 2 technicians on this command kind of platform stage, whatever you want to call it, points at a different corridor to the one that you have left and the one that Jasmine ran down. It's that way, and kind of rattles off a series of directions, and then finishes it up with, but they'll be waiting for you, and you won't get in.
They're always waiting for us, and we always get in. Thank you. You've been very helpful. I would definitely like to recommend you to your superior officer. Excellent, 5 stars. Thank you very much. I will shake his hand and take the directions.
Okay,
Leave a
there's
review on the way out then.
5-star review on Minions Plus. There's definite confusion behind in this technician's eyes behind the safety goggles, but he's bamboozled enough that he shakes your hand in a very hesitant manner, and then one of the other technicians slaps him upside the head as you walk away, because not supposed to be helping you, but the that fast talk managed to do it. But Sir Richard and Donna both were close enough to overhear the directions if you want to follow.
Yep. And
Tanya.
as far as the one who helped us, I'll just look at his name tag. Thanks, Brian. And then we'll leave.
Just
Brian,
does that
Brian MVP.
does that kind of like the deer in the headlights nodding of the head, like I'm terrified, I'm just going to do what I can to acknowledge that kind of body language?
Because now I know his name and can find out where he lives. And I feel like he knows this.
See, now he has a name, he has to get like credits and extra pay.
That is true. You've just bumped him up on the payroll.
Gotta help
Good
out
for
people
him.
where I can.
We're helpful.
He may become a recurring goon. Who knows? There might be job security here for this poor actor.
Yeah.
So you leave the rocket bay behind and you enter stock hallway number 3 again. This time it's oriented slightly and angled slightly uphill. But you know where you are going. Who is following the instructions given?
Yeah,
Well-
I don't. I mean, we don't have
sorry.
any other.
Who is leading you on this? Through the base, following. Yeah, I should have had that first. Who is leading you following the instructions that you were given? Because one of you needs to make a roll to not get lost, essentially.
Let's put Donna up in front. She's big.
Yeah.
Okay.
If you come across anything dangerous, it'll hit me in the face first, and I'm cool with that.
Fantastic. Could you?
I'll take up the rear because I'm big. So if anything hits us back from the back, then we got the big people on the side. It's like a sandwich.
Amazing.
I'm
Could you
going in.
please give me a survival plus cunning roll? The difficulty of this is 2. So 2, 8, 9, or 10s, or 1 10 because that counts as 2 successes. If there is anything on your character sheet you think would help with this, please feel free to reference it.
Or you can
Not
use a quip.
really.
Use a quip.
Yeah, if you've got any one-liners that would help in this situation to give you that extra die.
Not really.
Don't worry.
Oh,
there
good. 2 successes. Thank goodness.
Fantastic. There will be plenty of opportunity for Donna to hit things.
Yeah. Most of my stuff is hitting things oriented. So.
Hey, me too.
It will
so we're
happen.
Good.
But 2 successes is enough. As you encounter a cross corridor, kind of looking left and right, you need to turn right, but you hear from the left, over the extremely loud, annoying, blaring klaxon of the alarm, footsteps, booted footsteps on the hard carpet, and you pull back into the corridor as a group of guards just run crosswise in the direction that you're heading. You can try to come upon them from behind, or you can leave it a couple of moments for them to get far enough away that you can follow without detection.
They're going the same way that we are?
For the moment, certainly.
Or are
yes.
they? Oh, okay. I'm cool to just kind of let them get a head start. They don't know we're here yet.
Okay, fantastic. So you leave it a few minutes, and then the 3 of you take off. I haven't forgotten about Jasmine, don't worry. The 3 of you take off running and take, you go to the right, you take a left, and you find yourself in a room, and you dimly remember this small room. One of you threw a goon through that card table over there, and another was slammed into the television, sparking in one corner. The rest of the furniture has been pushed into a semblance of order after your capture, though, and a series of simple wooden chairs is lined against a bar. It's after Donna and Sir Richard had their way, the original bar was broken. This is just a piece of like a spare door that's been laid on top of the remains of the original bar. The radio sitting on one corner of it plays soft, static-filled music. You almost pass through without tarrying, but something seems off to your expert eyes. This room is too orderly. Something has almost certainly been hidden here.
Ooh.
So this
May I-
is just a lampshade mechanics for a moment. This is an investigation scene, where you will always find, you know, like core clues, but there might be something else to find after you've discovered one thing. Who knows? Sorry, you wanted to say something, just Claire.
May I case the joint? It says, I am aware of my surroundings at all times, easily casing hotel lobbies, casino floors, and other locations within moments upon entering. Once per story, gain knowledge pertaining to any secret passages, camouflage security cameras, and most probable routes for escape in the surrounding area.
Okay, there's no secret passages. You have, in fact, found an astonishing lack of those in this undersea base, presumably because it's an undersea base. There is a hidden security camera in one corner of the room. The fact that this is a social space with a hidden security camera, presumably they're trying to keep tabs on the guards during their downtime. And it is pointed so that it can see the behind the bar area, as well as the most of the room. And there is another door out of here. That's your other exit.
Ah. What's behind the bar?
Do you go around behind the bar?
I do, because you set me up now. You put a pineapple in the room. I have to look at it.
Let's go ahead and lift the door up, I suppose, if there's not already a.
Oh, you can
way.
just walk
It's
around
like,
it.
oh. Oh, okay.
I mean, you can
I was
still
gonna
lift it
try
if you
to-
want out of the
I was
way.
gonna try to, just get the door kind of thing.
Okay, yeah, you can absolutely get the door. I approve of that pun. As you lift the door to allow Tanya to more easier access behind it, Tanya, you catch out of the corner of your eye something kind of swinging loosely on the where presumably I guess there's a hook behind the bar that's been very hastily attached to this door with something on a lanyard.
Ooh, what is it? Pick it up.
You pick it up. You have a plastic punch card, which you it's a security key for something.
Ooh. Nice.
It may
Is there
become useful.
anything else interesting behind the bar?
Behind the bar, you've got liquor and glasses and a small sink, presumably for washing either the liquor or the glasses. Or watering down the liquor or washing the glasses, I should say.
I will grab a particularly large bottle of tequila for smashing head purposes.
Excellent. Fantastic. That'll be a
I have a
one-use
weapon.
weapon, but it will help.
Love it.
Would you like to do anything else in this room while you are here? Tanya, as you have seen the security camera, you can guess they know exactly where you are right now.
Yeah, they probably know where we are all the time. It feels like that sort of
You want me to
place.
smash it?
Sure, why not?
I smash it.
Okay, yeah, it's because of the nature of the base, it's not like a terribly high ceiling. Let's go with I guess is it close combat or fighting? I cannot remember which. Close combat. Let's go with might and close combat, if you would prefer might. Any physical attribute would work, but I assume might is your highest based on the descriptions you have provided.
Yes.
The difficulty is 1. There is a complication of 2 that you'll also need to buy off, because if you don't buy it off, you will absolutely get electrocuted by the camera short-circuiting as you break it. Unless you're doing it with, not your fist.
Okay. Well, I mean, there's plenty of more bottles here.
There are.
Liquid and electricity. What could possibly go wrong?
I'll take an empty bottle. I'll empty it onto the floor. Someone's gonna have to clean this up and then smash.
Oh, what a waste.
You can lick it up if you want.
Oh no, there's no need to go that far.
Okay, you have avoided the complication.
All right. One success.
On success, difficulty
Yeah.
was 1. You shatter the bottle over the camera, and both bottle and lens crack. Well, I mean, shatter. That was the verb I used.
Right.
Even if the camera is not out of action, it's been severely hampered by the fact that most of the the focusing lens is now missing.
Well, I mean, they did know we're in here. They don't anymore. Yeah. So as long as we stay in here, we'll be fine.
Not sure about that last part, but
The
everything else
last thing
tracks.
they'll expect.
That would be unexpected.
Whatever. At least I got to smash it.
Is there anything else you would like to do
Nicely
in this small rec room?
No,
I think we've wrecked it enough.
Yeah, we
Yeah,
made a
it's
mess.
now the wrecked room. You've wrecked it
Mm.
twice as well. Like it was
The
in the
wrecked
montage
rec
sequence.
room.
it was. No, I think our work in this room is done for now.
Yeah.
Okay. Again, whoever is leading you, I need you to make a cyber cunning roll to avoid the guards as you leave this room and head further into the base towards the remote operations center.
Okay. Did we want to keep the same marching order moving forward?
Yeah, sure.
Sure.
All right, what am I rolling again?
Survival plus cunning. If you would be so kind.
Zero.
Oh no.
Okay. So,
I'm very loud.
You head off, following what you believe are the directions that you were given. Corridor after corridor. Some of them have like banks of lockers in. One of them has a water cooler, empty. Couple of them have doors that you just looking at them like they're clearly just stuck on. They're not real doors. They're just props. And eventually you realize that you can hear footsteps from up ahead. And kind of looking left and right, trying to find somewhere to like a side corridor to take, and you can't see one, and the footsteps get louder and louder and closer as Jasmine runs into view, still pursued by the 4 guards with submachine guns. As those guards round the corner, I guess it would make sense. Unless you're immediately going to run, we could roll do some initiative stuff to see how you deal with these guards. So my question to you as my players, would you like to treat this as a chase, or would you like to deal with the submachine gun wielding hench people?
Deal with it.
Yeah,
I'm
deal
good
with it.
Let's deal with them.
Fight scene.
Okay. In which case, I will grab a notepad document for the initiative tracker. So the way this works is you use the lower of your athletics plus cunning dice pool, or empathy plus dexterity dice pool. And then I will roll for the hench people. I have to mute my microphone, so if I forget to unmute, I apologize.
Gotcha. Can I get those dice pools one more time, please?
Yes, for sure. The lowest of athletics plus cunning, or empathy plus dexterity.
Understood. Thank you.
I really should have chosen dice that were easier to read. I need to make a note of this. So okay, so Sir Richard, what was your total successes?
A total of 3.
Fantastic.
And that did burn my die from the quip before. So
grand. Donna, what were your successes?
1.
Okay. Jasmine, what did you get?
Am I adding the +3 enhancement from before?
Yeah, it's technically the next action. in the scene.
Perfect. So 7.
Woo. And Tanya.
2.
Okay, so would it surprise you all to learn that Jasmine is at the top of the initiative
Wow.
with 7 successes? So the way it works is that it is functioning as an initiative tracker. You have a tick on which you can act. If you wish to, you can swap ticks as long as the person you're swapping with hasn't acted yet in the scene, in the round. I got, for full disclosure, I got 5 successes. So the initiative is so Jasmine or any other player who has yet to act, then the hench people, then Sir Richard, then Tanya, then Donna, and then back up to the top. And again, if you wish, you can swap your position in the tracker.
I'm good with mine, unless I can swap with the hench people.
No, unfortunately, I'm going to exert full
Darn.
directorial control there, and no.
No, I'm good with mine.
So there are so there are 4 of these goons in a pressure suit. The corridor that you've just run down, Jasmine, does have a couple of kind of has like a water cooler and some lockers that function as sort of cover, but you know that just behind you there is a door to a small room. Like, you don't know what it is. The door is blank. There's no nameplate on it. That could be a more advantageous place to take this rather than just a corridor with no cover. But it is entirely up to you. It is your turn.
Yeah, so I would like to use my trademark I am the Red Sparrow, which is tied to athletics.
Okay.
And I basically want to have my Black Widow moment and just start fighting.
Okay. Yeah. I'm happy for you to do that. I'm assuming this would be either might or dex. So just as like a blanket thing, obviously there is a skill called close combat, but I'm happy for people to use other things where relevant. And as you have that trademark tied to athletics, that's fine for me. Obviously, that's a subjective thing. Other directors may choose to be like, hey, this is a fight, you must use this thing. I think athletics is also used for like thrown weapons as well. But I'm good with that. Are you aiming for might, dexterity, or stamina?
Let's do dexterity.
Grant. I just need to double check something, see if I actually did copy all of their stat block over. You know what? Rather than leaning awkwardly, I'll just move which monitor I'm looking at. But you're close enough that you don't have to move particularly far to hit someone. They currently have no cover. Their default difficulty is 1, as is everyone's default difficulty. Where did their stat block go? Yep, I appear to have all of their stats. So please make that attack roll.
One more, before I do, what did we say trademarks did? Like, how did they?
They were 2 additional dice to the pool,
Okay.
I believe it was.
2 additional dice to the pool. Yep.
Excellent. Thank you.
Of course.
And if you're successful, you gain directorial control, which allows you to add with any additional successes that you have over the difficulty, which I mean, obviously I'm going to roll for their defense pool, but although they don't appear to have one, you can bank those successes until and spend them at any point during the scene to add a minor like narrative change to the scene.
Excellent. Okay, I got 5 successes, or yes.
Okay. So I'm just double checking something. In the rules, again, this is one of those. There are too many story path games out there.
Oh, we need more story path games. Keep them coming.
No, yeah, for real. But please use the same implementation of the rules for all of them, so that they all, feel identical, because that wouldn't be awful in any way, shape, or form. Yeah, there's no cover for them to dive towards, so it was just difficulty 1, I guess.
Great. So yeah, 5 successes.
Actually, that's a good point. Do you have defenses listed on your character sheet?
Um,
I know that you can spend your turn to defend yourself.
I'm not seeing anything.
no, yeah.
So could be a neat thing to add for future character sheets.
Yeah, I'm not seeing any defense pools or anything readily. Yeah.
I'm just double checking. For now, to keep things moving, because this is ultimately, it's supposed to be a challenging fight, but not impossible. I'm happy for you to. Sorry, I'm just overwhelmed by text at this point. You got 7, right?
I got 5.
5, sorry. To make this actually challenging without being a washout, I will roll a defense pool for them. If I could find my D10. But then it's just good to apply for. I assume you were targeting just one of the goons.
Yes.
Okay, so you got 4 successes, got only rolled 1 success. So you always do 1 damage anyway. But you can, if you wish, increase damage by +1 per success. You can blind or otherwise daze them for 1 success. You can disarm them for 2 successes, or 3 if you want to knock the weapon completely out of their hands to short range. You can set someone up for an attack, and that just gives them enhancement equal to number of successes spent.
I think I will disarm them completely.
Okay, so that's 3 successes. So you've done 1 damage. You spent 3 successes on knocking one of their submachine guns to short range, and then you've got 1 success left over. You can increase the damage against them, or you can give someone else enhancement on the next attack.
I'll just increase damage.
Okay, so they take 2 damage from the Red Sparrow. I guess if I just 1, 2, 3, 5 is not how you label henchmen. Hench people. I did it again as well. Because I said 1, 2, 3, 5 when I deleted 5. I put another 5 in place. Why am I like this? Yeah.
I mean,
so
to be fair, that was our initiative, aside from Jasmine. So
fair.
Might be where that came from.
After the flurry of blows from Jasmine, there's the sound of metal skittering across the floor as a submachine gun goes flying, and one of the 4 hench people is kind of doubled over, clutching their stomach. It is now their turn, however. So the way I'm going to handle it is, because they are regrettably classed as nameless hench people in the rule book, they have a squad special rule. And when they work together against a single foe, they get +1 enhancement for each hench person after the first. So out of the 4 of them, 3 of them are going to target one of you. Going to target anyone but Jasmine, because Jasmine's right up in next to one of their theoretical allies.
Biggest threat too.
Biggest threat. Who appears to be the biggest threat?
I mean, I'm kind of a big dude, so maybe if they're going off of that.
I'll tell you what. Why don't we do what? Who wants to be the biggest threat? And we'll get a dice roll involved.
I mean, I don't mind, being the tank here and doing that. I volunteer as tribute.
If Tanya and Donna are fine with that.
Yeah,
If
I'm
they-
happy with that.
I'm good.
Okay. So this is a dice pool of 7. Just make sure I've got 7 dice in my hand. Yeah. And they have +2 enhancement on this because there's 3 of them essentially just trying to pin you down with gunfire.
Rude, but okay.
If you wish, because that seems again make the most sense to me. I will double check the ranged combat stunts. I assume they're ranged combat stunts anyway.
Sounds very familiar.
Pin down. There we go.
Ah.
I'm good if you want to roll stamina against this, or like try to break into that nearby doorway as cover.
Okay. So you said stamina and what else?
I believe it's just stamina.
Okay.
So I'm just, again, quick glance at the rules. In other story path games, just your stamina pool is your defensive pool. If anyone in chat does know the answer, please do let me know. I'm doing that thing where it's like I'm just incredibly doubting myself and my knowledge of the game.
Well,
It's
if
all
it
right.
makes
Just wing it. Just wing it. It's fine.
Yeah.
Pick 2 and roll with it.
If
Yeah.
it makes it any easier, for rolling my stamina there, 0 successes. So
Okay, so it's still difficulty 1, so there's that. Regrettably, 2, 4, 5, 6 successes.
oof.
The two tens really helped on that one.
Yeah.
So you are going to take 1 damage. Let's go with you take 2 injuries as they shoot out your legs, knocking you to the floor, so you're prone. And then you are pinned. So you get the pin down complication to your next action. If you don't buy it off, you take an extra 3 damage from being shot again, essentially.
Yeah, that'll complicate things.
Unless anything changes within the scene, that would remove that complication for you.
Understood. So let's see. So that would be 2 things of damage there. So just from the little notes that I'm seeing here, that's +2 to archetype dice rolls.
Yes.
Is that so that's not enhancement 2, that's just an additional 2 dice, correct?
Yeah.
Right?
If it says plus dice, then yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just because you.
Okay. Yeah, just wanted to make sure
It's the opposite of the death spiral. You get better as you get more injured, until you get taken out, obviously. At which point you're not doing anything.
Which point you're dead to us.
Hey,
I mean, wrong.
I would like to point out that which one was it? Is it exit strategy? A player with this cinematic can interrupt an attack or trap by declaring their character is using their exit strategy. You suffer no effects, avoid any damage or conditions, but you cannot return to action until the following scene because you've left. It is there if you want to use it.
Understood. I'm
At
gonna
any
hold
point.
off on it for now, but knowing that I have that available is good to know.
Fantastic. So that was. Oh, and then one of them's going to just try to. They're not going for their gun. They're just going to punch Jasmine very clumsily.
Rude.
I mean, they just got sucker punched. So.
Do you want me to roll my stamina or?
Again, if you want to roll stamina. Yep.
Sweet.
This is also because I may have overtuned this encounter slightly. I only got 2 successes.
3.
3? Okay, no damage at all. as you fend off the extremely clumsy blows from this pressure suited hench person. They are grunting with every kind of wild, clumsy blow. They're clearly not. There we go. It's because it's in a different section. When I give you damage, you can choose to shrug it off, which reduces damage, not defense. Increase your defense. That was it. I knew I was remembering something. Or you can choose to accept the damage, and you just fill in all the remaining injuries on your current injury level. So if I gave you like 8 damage, you could say, "Yeah, I'm going to take it," and you just fill in two things.
Oh,
Does that make sense?
Does that apply to all damage, or was that just for that? I'm just asking because I got shot, so I didn't know how that
All
factored
damage. All damage. So if you want to retcon it to like fill in all of just a flesh wound, that's fine.
Okay. I'll go ahead and do that.
Because it gives you more injury levels, you know?
Yeah. Trying to shrug that off and tank as much of that as I can, but still hurts though, and I'm going to file a complaint with their manager.
Totally fine. Totally fine. And again, that's why I was like, there's just so many different implementations of the core rules that there's going to be mistakes, and you know it's on me. I just want to give us the best, most consistent experience possible, and going forwards, we'll know what it is. So after that extremely clumsy attempt to punch someone, it is in fact Sir Richard's turn. You have a level 3 complication that will inflict 3 damage on you if you can't buy it off.
Understood.
As
all right,
you are currently pinned down.
And we have how many cards?
There are 4. 3 of them have some machine guns and are kind of awkwardly taking cover against the walls. 1 is currently attempting to deal with Jasmine and failing horrendously.
Gotcha. And about how far away are they? Because I know Jasmine's right up there with them, but I don't know if it was ever specified how far away we were.
They are within, let's say, medium range. Because you were because you were at the back of the of the group. So you can get to the one Jasmine's fighting, fine, but you would have to move as part of a mixed action to get to anyone beyond that, I'll say.
Understood.
And a mixed action is you roll the lowest dice pool of both of them, and there's like a sprinting dice pool as well as a fighting dice pool, and then you buy off both of them with whatever successes you get.
Okay. So I was thinking that, but that +3 complication might make things a little tricky there.
Probably.
However, maybe a little bit. But I'm thinking I can help get the one off of Jasmine, and then it's there's 1 less to deal with, and then we can deal with the rest from there.
For sure.
So I'll go ahead and try that.
Okay. Those of you who are practiced in melee combat, by the way, I'm happy if you want to have a knife or brass knuckles to use, just rather than punching people.
Oh, sure.
Specifically because if you are using a weapon, you automatically get +1 enhancement to attacks.
Understood.
I forgot to point that out, and I didn't know what was on your character sheet, and that is on me for not checking.
Fair enough. Yeah, no, I didn't know about that before. But
I will add an additional damage from Jasmine's attack.
Thank you.
Wonderful. No, I think some brass knuckles would look nice. So yeah, we'll go ahead and do that. I want to go ahead and close that gap and swing away.
Fantastic. Please go ahead and swing away.
With might and close combat. a total of 7 successes.
Okay,
Yeah,
they
those 2 10s came in handy.
Yeah, they're absolutely going to try to shrug that off because behind the screen, you know that these are not faceless low-level hench people, but in the script it calls for them to take a couple of blows before falling over. A 7 is more than a couple of blows.
Sure, for sure. May have gotten a little too hyped on the set.
Okay, you have 3 successes to do things with.
Okay. Well,
Would
this
you
is
like me
also...
to recount the stunts that you can?
Well, I was going to ask, with the 3 remaining successes, is that already factoring in the complication that I would have had to buy off?
Oh, that is not no. So if you don't buy that off, you're going to get shot as you run towards them.
Yeah, I would like to buy that off.
Okay, so you deal 1 damage, which I wouldn't have rolled to resist 1 damage because that just feels mean to me. It's mean-spirited. So you do get a solid punch in on the way as you avoid all of the gunfire pouring down the corridor towards you. Sparks go flying from the floor. You imagine that you can feel the airflow as the blanks fire, because this is before gun safety. Yes, but you are there, and you land a solid blow against the hench person that Jasmine has softened up slightly. It is Tanya's turn to do something.
It's my turn. Oh no. I'm not all that good at fighting. Does anybody mind if I use a rewrite?
Sure. What would you like?
Convenient double agent.
Ah, yes. Classic.
Oh, yes.
Nameless minions and bystanders cost 1 rewrite.
So there is a thing that I will point out at this point. One of the hench people, the one at the back, is wearing a like a facsimile of a sergeant's stripes on the outside of the pressure suit. So they are not nameless. They will cost 2 rewrites if you want them to be your double agent. They have exactly the same stats. So it's up to you. I just wanted to point that out.
So named hench person costs 2.
Yes.
Well, are you guys okay with me spending 2 on that? Or I'll save it for later.
That's fine by me.
Okay. Oh, in that case, I'd like to line up to punch him real hard and then suddenly go like, Brian? Other Brian?
This is
Brian with a Y?
With a Y, yes.
It's me.
I haven't seen you since, it must have been like secondary school, maybe college. What are you doing here?
Okay. So it's your choice. Do they secretly lend a hand for the scene, or do they blow their cover and leave the enemy organization forever?
Let's have them secretly lend a hand.
Okay. So functionally, the Brian with a Y will not be attacking. His presence will not grant enhancement any longer to the other hench people's attack rolls. And if he is the last one standing, he'll just surrender.
Awesome.
Does that seem fair to everyone?
I love it.
I'm here for it. I love it.
Fantastic. So I will, in fact, remove Brian with a Y from my hit point, my injury tracker, because I assume you're not going to hit him.
No, not deliberately, no.
And that cinematic is used. It doesn't actually say that takes a simple action either. So you do have a simple action on your turn if you want to do anything. You can just defend as a simple action as well.
I will defend then.
I believe. I will double check. If you use your action to defend yourself, compile your dice pool as normal for the action. And then it's a difficulty 1 roll. So how are you defending yourself?
I will duck and cover.
Okay, so that sounds a bit like athletics plus dexterity.
That sounds fine to me. That's
If
3.
you would like to persuade me with something else, that's fine too.
No, let's try that, and hopefully I won't get punched in the mouth. Oh, 1 success.
1 success. Okay, so the default difficulty to hit Tanya until the start of Tanya's next tick is 2 now, rather than 1.
Whee!
Nice.
Okay, down to Donna at the bottom. And Donna, as you were leading the party, you can reach any of the 4 combatants, including Brian with a Y, without having to roll for it. It was close enough to them.
Nice. All right. I would love to use my trademark, I know Kung Fu, and go Kung Fu on their asses.
Fantastic. There are currently
that.
3. One of them is being double teamed by Sir Richard and Jasmine. And there are 2 completely uninjured ones that are like just firing down the corridor wildly.
All right. I will smack at one that has not been touched yet.
Fantastic.
All right. How does the trademark work again?
So that's plus 2 dice to the pool, as long as you use the skill that it's tied to. I'm assuming that's tied to close combat.
Yeah.
Cool.
Okay.
So I'm happy for you to choose might, dexterity, or stamina, whichever is better for you. Plus your
I would
close
love
combat
to
dice pool.
use stamina.
Fantastic.
Mhm.
And then you get an additional 2 dice on top of that for the trademark.
Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 successes.
Okay. So you spend one of those to hit them because it's difficulty 1, leaving 4 leftover successes. Would you like me to read out the options that you can do with those successes? There are a
Sure.
few. So at base, you can just increase the damage that you have dealt. 1 success does an extra damage, etc. 1-for-1 basis. You can blind them, increasing the difficulty of their next action by 1. You can disarm them. 2 or 3 successes. On a 2, they just drop it. On a 3, you knock it to short range. They do have some machine guns. You can grant an enhancement to you or your ally's next attack against that same opponent. You can knock them prone. Pinning them down would be difficult because you don't have anything to pin them down with. You can try to take an item, but the only one that they only have guns, which you specifically can't grab. Or you can shove, just knock them backwards.
Okay, I'd like to disarm.
Okay. Would you like to just knock it out of their hands, or knock it to short range?
Yeah,
So
I'd
it's either-
fully knock it out of the way.
Okay, so that's 3 successes. So you've got 1 additional success. Was that including the +1 enhancement from the bottle of tequila?
No, I'm saving that.
Fantastic.
I would just spend the extra one for some extra damage.
Okay. So they're going to attempt to. You know what? They'll just take the damage, just to keep things moving because we are on a time limit here. They will take the 2 damage and groan in pain as you slam into them.
Roundhouse kick.
Just bounce off the wall, kind of thing.
Yeah.
Staggered.
Love that.
Mhm.
And as you know, as they bounce, as they hit the wall, that's when the gun goes flying from their hand. So there are currently 2 guns on the floor within short range, so anyone can move to them and pick them up. Back to the top of the tick tracker with Jasmine. Again, Jasmine, you can act now, or you can swap with another player who has not yet acted.
I think I will gracefully move from the combatant I'm engaged with and go to the last one with the gun and try to get the we'll attempt to disarm him.
Okay. Please go ahead again. They haven't done anything to defend themselves. So the difficulty is 1. You get +1 enhancement from your weapon of choice, whatever it is.
Conquest.
Although it can't be
Feeling-
anything too big because you're wearing a very skin-tight bodysuit.
That's
wetsuit.
true. Okay.
Hammer space. Where was
True.
it before? Boom. Doesn't matter.
Very true.
5. Got it. That would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 successes.
Okay, so you spend one of them to overcome the difficulty anyway. So four leftover successes. If you want to knock it to short range, that's 3 of those 4 successes, or if you just want them to drop it, it's 2 successes.
Oh, we'll knock it to short range.
Okay, so if 1 success left over, you can just do an extra point of damage. You can blind them. You can grant an enhancement to the next person who targets them, or knock them down.
I'll just do extra damage.
Okay.
Yeah.
So they're all currently disarmed. So now there is one in front of Sir Richard, there's one in front of Jasmine, and there is one in front of Donna. They're all just going to attack the person that they're in front of. So we'll do we'll do Sir Richard first, because that's the most heavily injured of the hench people. And they do reach up and like reach behind them and draw a like a diving knife from the back of their belt. So they will get an enhancement for having a weapon, and it will have the deadly weapon tag. So the way weapons work in They Came From games is they have tags which give them different qualities. The deadly one means even if you shrug off the damage to 0, you always take at least 1 injury.
Understood.
So at a quick glance, it is currently 3 successes. I'm going to spend one of those to knock Sir Richard prone. And if it's brass knuckles, can't really disarm him. So we'll also do a go for a blind. So just like go for your eyes, so you just have to duck. So your next roll has +1 difficulty, and then 1 damage left over.
Okay. And that was stamina to resist, or is that?
Yes, I believe. We'll double check, but I believe it's like an appropriate resilience attribute, usually stamina. Yeah.
Understood. I got 1 success for that.
Okay, so good news. You would reduce it to 0, but because it's a deadly weapon, you still take 1 injury.
That's fair. Now, because I had filled up the first one before, that puts me under the so past just a flesh wound, and then that moves me into the 2nd damage bracket, correct?
That leaves a scar. Yes, if you have no more flesh wounds remaining.
Correct. Okay.
So because just a flesh wound is full, you now get that +1 die for your archetype dice.
Understood.
So anything that your archetype says would benefit from it, it benefits from it.
Okay.
And then we'll do the one that is currently engaged with Donna. Sorry, please bear with me. I have a cocked die. I'm re-rolling it. Only 1 success, so it's 1 injury. It is a knife, so you can't try to reduce it to 0. So unfortunately, Donna just takes 1 injury in the just a flesh wound, or whatever it's called.
Okie dokie.
I'll just get through these hench people, and then if everyone's happy to take a short bio break.
Absolutely.
Fantastic. So 1 last roll, and then we'll take that quick break. So the attack against Jasmine succeeds with 2 successes. So it's 1 injury, and I'll spend the additional. Is Jasmine uninjured?
Yes.
Cool. So yeah, we'll do 1 injury, which there's no point rolling to reduce because you're always going to take 1 from a knife. And then the other one is Jasmine is also blinded because they're just going for your eyes. So your next attack has +1 difficulty. And if my players are happy to, with that flurry of knife strokes, we'll go for a quick tech and bio break and come back in about 5 minutes' time. Does that work for everyone?
Sounds good to me.
Perfect.
Fantastic. We will see you on the other side, chat. Hopefully you're enjoying the game. Fantastic. We are back from the ad break. Thank you for watching that message from our sponsors. Actually, while I'm thinking about messages from sponsors, if you haven't yet checked out the Kickstarter live right now for Branch Riders from the Bodana Group, who you can see on the overlay, please do consider doing so. I don't have the link to hand right now, but it is available on the Onyx Path Discord server. We resume a very cramped, close quarters fight in a corridor. Guns are flying all over the place. Not bullets, guns. Knocked out of hands every which way. We have just had a round of furious last-minute slashes from 3 of the 4 henchmen, Brian with a Y, choosing to just stage fight, essentially, with Tanya. And Sir Richard, it is currently your turn. There is a hench person in front of you in a pressure suit, wielding a knife.
Yes, and he used that knife on me, which
He
was
did.
quite rude of him.
He went for your eyes, so you currently have +1 difficulty to your next action.
Right, which my next action will be to return the favor of violence towards this individual. So
Checks out.
I'm gonna go ahead and, much like I did before, scroll this up, I'd like to use might and close combat.
Fantastic. So the difficulty is now 2 to succeed at this action.
Understood. Oh, okay. So yeah, from that dice pool, I got 3 10s, so there's 6, 7, 8, and 9.
Damn.
So,
Okay.
yeah.
That's
So 3. Ooh. Yeah, so 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 successes.
yeah. So that hits. They're pretty wounded, so if you want to just pour damage into them, that's totally fine. Or I can give you the list of combat stunts if you would like to do something fancy.
Well, so yeah, I mean, I think you know what is there for something fancy?
So at
people
base,
make it.
it's just increased damage. So you're going to do 1 anyway. I've gone blurry. Cool, thanks OBS. You're going to do 1 anyway, but you can spend additional successes to increase the damage by 1 per success spent. You can blind them, which increases the difficulty of their next action. You can disarm them. You can remove that knife from their hands and leave them without a weapon. For 2 or 3 successes, you can feint, which gives enhancement equal to successes spent on the next attack against that target. You can knock them down, knock them prone, or you could shove them backwards.
I see.
And I'm going to use the thumb technique to see if I can get my webcam to focus again. That didn't help.
Worth a shot. Let's see. I kind of like the idea of so I've got an idea in my head, and I kind of want to see like how that would go, like what I would need to spend in stunts in order to make this happen.
Okay.
But he tried to stab me with the knife, and actually he did stab me with this knife.
He did,
and,
yes.
You know, I suppose in a more extreme version of, sometimes you teach people like, hey, that wasn't very nice. I kind of want to take it and like sort of twist it and like, hey, stop stabbing yourself, kind of thing. Like, see that hurts when you do that to people.
Okay.
So kind of twisting his arm. I don't necessarily have to take it from him, but more like taking his hand and guiding it inwards in the process of doing the damage here.
Okay, no, I'm good with that. So there is a
left,
grapple stunt you can also choose. So you can absolutely grapple him like that and stab him with his own knife.
Yeah, and with any of the remaining successes, if I could just like headbutt him and just put that all into extra damage.
Yep. So so you had, was it 7 successes left over?
It was 9 successes in total. So however many were remaining after doing all that.
So you spend 2 to beat the difficulty, and then you have 7 left over.
Correct.
So yeah, 7 successes left over. Let's say we'll spend 2 on the grapple in case he survives, because that gives it a difficulty 2 for him to escape.
Okay.
So that's 5 successes. So you can increase the damage by 5. So I will. He's obviously going to try to shrug it off, but I don't anticipate much success.
Yeah. So yeah, taking the arm, putting the knife in him, and then let him experience that for a second, and then headbutt.
Okay, so the good news is, sorry, the bad news for you, I do reduce the damage by 2, so it is only 3 damage.
Okay.
The good news for you is he only had 2 health left.
Oh well, then
So you
that works swimmingly.
yeah, we get that really tight zoom in of the blade as it slowly sinks into fake body, blood just pouring gratuitously from the wound, and then the camera cuts back out to a more wide range shot, and he just slides down you, leaving this trail of blood down the outside of your wetsuit, and just lies on the floor in a slowly expanding pool of what you are pretty sure is just red corn syrup.
Probably. But yeah.
But he
then that's my
is
turn.
taken care of. Tanya, you are stage fighting with Brian with a Y.
I am.
Would you like to do anything?
What else is going on?
There are 2 hench people remaining, both of them, let's say, lightly wounded. One in front of Jasmine and one in front of Donna. The one in front of Jasmine, I believe, just kind of went for her eyes, forcing her onto the back foot momentarily.
Hmm. Let's see. I'm inclined to believe that Donna and Jasmine can definitely deal with this on their own. So I would like to continue with my little fake fight. Give everyone a thumbs up. You're doing great.
Okay, so you and Brian with a Y exchange theatrical blows. That for any if there are any security cameras hypothetically nearby, it would look convincing enough that the 2 of you are going hell for leather, trying to actually deal with each other. As part of that, as you are trading blows under his breath every time, his body's angled towards the wall, so there's no chance of anyone seeing him speaking beneath the blank faceplate anyway. Brian with a Y does say, "There is a key in my upper breast pocket. You will need it."
Sweet. Okay, let's see if we can grab that.
Okay, so if you would like to do this stealthily to avoid any potential cameras catching you, it's almost certainly going to be a larceny roll. I will allow you to use dexterity or composure, however, if composure is better for you, because this is just like keeping calm in this charged
3,
situation.
5, and I will throw a quip on that. I'm going in.
Fantastic. The difficulty for this roll is 2.
Oh, that's unfortunate because I only got 1.
Okay. That is a rewrite added to the pool, however.
Huzzah!
Excellent.
I will also offer you the devil's bargain of you can still get the key, but it will be noticed by someone somewhere.
I mean, this can't possibly come back to bite me later. I will take that. I will take that devil's bargain.
So you get a small metal key, just like a normal house key or lock key, that kind of thing.
Sweet.
Safety deposit box. That's the word I was looking for. Blindly reaching into the dictionary for words.
This one will do.
Yeah, exactly. It is a Q. Okay. So that is your tick. Donna is the last person to act in the initiative tracker, whatever you want to call it. There is a guard right in front of you, Donna, with a reaching round, presumably to draw a diving knife.
Hey, don't do that. Stop. Punch.
Oh no, they already have it out, so they're armed. Sorry.
All right, I'll try to, punch as well as knock it out of their hand, keep on going with my kung fu panda.
Absolutely fair.
Okay. Is it close combat might?
Whichever physical attribute you would like to use. So the difference between like might and stamina, for example, is might is you just throwing all your weight behind your blows. Stamina is you're allowing them to hit you and tire themselves out and take your time to hit them.
I will use
It's just-
stamina then.
It's largely just flavor. I'm not terribly hung up on dice pools. If
Okay.
it's vaguely plausible, it's all good. And it's a they came from game. So vaguely plausible is good enough for everything.
All right, 2 successes.
2 successes. Okay, you have 1 additional success over the difficulty, so you can increase the damage by 1. So you do 2 damage. You
I
can
will do
blind
that.
him. Okay, 2 damage.
Yeah.
Obviously he's going to try to shrug it off. Which he does. What are you attacking with? What is your weapon of choice?
I think probably my feet. Like, yeah, I like to do high kicks because it's sexy.
Okay. Absolutely fine. You know, the actor playing Donna has a concerningly enthusiastic following on the, like, not message boards because it's pre-internet, but media, I guess.
Use the legs.
So I just noticed the weapon tag, incurable. Cool.
That's yeah, okay.
Yep. So 2 damage. It is reduced to 0, unfortunately, but you know, they don't heal from it. Back up to Jasmine and the hench person in front of you with the knife. Your next action is at +1 difficulty, whatever it is.
Okay. I'll just keep attacking with my graceful dancer-like punches and kicks.
Fantastic.
It's close combat dexterity. Oh no. I rolled very bad. Just 1.
Just 1. So it is enough to potentially deal damage, although the odds of me rolling 1 on 7 dice, because that's the pool I have, is it's a bit weird. I'm assuming they can attempt to shrug it off as an NPC, as a nameless hench person. It doesn't exactly say, but I've been doing it, and for the sake of consistency, for this round at least, I will continue to do it. Hey, you know when I said the odds of me getting 1 success on 7 dice are pretty good? Yeah, no, in fact, that did not happen. There is a solid crack as their faceplate hits the wall and they stagger backwards slightly. Unfortunately, you don't have enough to disarm them or do anything else, but you have dealt 1 injury to this hench person.
Perfect.
And it is their turn. They're going to do the exact same thing. They're going to just attack the person they're in front of, apart from Brian, obviously, who is attacking the person he's in front of. So we've got 2, 3. I have 5 successes against Jasmine. We'll put 2 of those into damage. Well, 1 automatically into damage anyway. And an additional 1 into damage, so that's down to 4. 1 into the blind stunt, so that's down to 3. And your next action is at +1 difficulty. And I've lost the list of combat stunts. You can't be disarmed. Nothing to grab. You know what? Let's put 3 into damage, so you'll have 3 injury coming your way.
Okay.
1 into blinding you, so +1 difficulty to your next action.
Mm.
That leaves 1 left over, which they'll do as a feint. So their next attack against you has +1 enhancement.
Could I attempt to shrug some of that damage off?
Yes. So if you would like to roll your stamina.
Yes. I got 1.
So it's down to 2 damage, down to 2 injuries. So if you just fill in 2 of the little circles on your character sheet.
Perfect.
And if that is an injury level fully filled, you get +1 archetype, +1 die for rolls related to your archetype.
Excellent.
+1 archetype die, as it says. And then the other one's in front of Donna, and they're going to do exactly the same thing. That is 3 successes, counting the enhancement from the knife itself. So we'll do 2 damage and 1 blind, just to keep things flowing. So Donna's next action is at +1 difficulty, and if you want to roll stamina to try and reduce that 2 damage, you can. You can't reduce it below 1, unfortunately, because it's a knife with the deadly tag, but
2.
fantastic. So it is reduced down to 1, unfortunately, as the minimum. But it is it's a less deadly wound, serious wound than it could be. How are you looking on injuries? You've got the
Yeah, that will complete my just a flesh wound.
Okay, so any action that relates to your archetype, I believe there's a list on the archetype, will give you an additional die to the pool because you're just digging deep into the those inner reserves. That's back to Sir Richard, however.
Excuse me. So it's the one fighting Tanya, the one in front of Jasmine, and the one in front of Donna, correct?
Yes, although because Tanya did declare convenient double agent, you were all aware that Brian with the Y is on your side.
Excellent. Okay, so as far as like closest to me, I believe it was the one Jasmine was fighting with was the closest.
Sure, we'll say yes. They're all kind of roughly the same distance at this point, so.
Gotcha. As far as that one there, it's just, line of sight and what have you. Gonna go ahead and much like before, might in close combat. This one being more of I suppose, a charge attempt. And I want to just pick him up, push him right into the wall, kind of putting my weight into that.
Fantastic.
So. A total of 6 successes there.
Okay. Well, yeah. Do you just want to put them all into damage and do 6 damage?
I'm good with that.
Injuries, sorry.
Just kind of good old rugby tackle right into the wall.
Fantastic. I will, of course, try to reduce that damage.
Naturally.
Seems like a thing they would attempt to do. Five successes, so it's reduced down to 1 damage.
Okay.
But they are, as you like slam them bodily into the wall, they stagger. They're woozy. They're still standing, but they're extremely woozy on their feet right now. They are not that far from being taken out of the fight, whatever that entails.
Understood. That's all I've got.
Fantastic. After Sir Richard, it is Tanya's turn.
Oh, me again. Oh, it's all looking largely under control.
More or less, yeah. You and Brian still duking it out. If you wanted to, you know that you could, for example, like fake knocking Brian out.
Yeah, I think that would
turn
be...
and help with
yeah,
the others.
We'll do that at this point, and yeah, I'll tell him time go down now. Time to go down.
Okay. Would you like to roll for his knockout blow, or would you like me to roll his pool for a knockout blow? So you could like roll an I guess culture or larceny for the acting side of things and manipulation or composure. to be like to sell it to any potentially unseen observer via security camera, or I can roll his dice pool to sell his pratfall.
I will roll. I will do composure and larceny,
Okay.
and this is the second time for I'm going in. So we get extra for that. 1, 2, 5. I can count. 7.
More than enough.
4 successes.
4 successes. Okay. I was going to put this as difficulty 1 anyway. So you have 3 leftover successes. If you would like to do anything with those, let's see what your options are. Although, I guess off the top of my head, it would be if anyone attacks you, you could spend those to complicate someone who attacks you. Until the end of the scene, the first person to attack you, or you can spend them. As I did say, you can spend them to refresh a cinematic at the cost of 3 successes. If you'd like to refresh a cinematic.
Would anybody like me to refresh the cinematics? We've used convenient double agent and establishing shot.
Yes.
I think for right now we're good. I can't think of any right now.
Up to you, honestly. I mean,
Yeah,
the
sure.
cinematics are always useful.
Yeah.
Yeah, I will rebuy establishing shot then.
Okay.
So
That is fine.
sounds like
So
could be
there is
useful.
an extremely successful finishing blow from Tanya. Brian just slumps awkwardly against the wall. For all intents and purposes, out cold. And you may not be a professional actor, but you think you sold it.
Excellent.
To
Oscars
Donna.
all the way.
All right, what have we got left?
In front of you is a lightly wounded hench person with a knife, and then about 10 feet away, having just been thrown bodily into a wall, is a much more heavily wounded hench person with a knife. And there is a body bleeding out, kind of on the floor behind you.
I will continue to wail on this guy in front of me.
Okay.
And sorry, how do you know what your archetype dies are for
Yeah, I
your
was just
injuries?
scanning through the rule book for that, and I was drawing a blank. If I'm being completely honest, I assume.
Yeah, I was
that
looking
is-
too.
What that is
So-
on your skills, yeah, next to skills, you've got things
of
written like
course.
your origin or your archetype.
Yep.
You've got ones
Uh,
that have been marked off with archetype.
That's
So
how I've
anytime
been-
you use those skills, when you've got plus to your archetype dice, you get an extra in the dice pool.
Sorry, say that again?
You know how on your skills, next to
Yeah.
skills, you've got things like origin or archetype
Oh,
that were
okay.
marked up during your creation. When you get a
Got
+1 on your archetype dice, any of those skills that you use that are marked with archetype, you get an extra 1 to the dice pool.
Good old
Perfect.
paths.
Got it.
Yeah.
All right, that is 4 successes.
4 successes. Are you just going to put them into damage? Do you want to blind them? Do you want to knock them prone? You could grapple them, but please don't invoke the grapple rules.
Yeah, I'll just add it all to damage. I'm done with this guy.
Okay. So we'll try to shrug it off, obviously, but we'll see how well that goes. We got 3 successes, so just take a glancing blow, but they're pretty highly trained. I'm not saying you've met your match, but they're almost at your level. Solo, at least. Back around to Jasmine.
The one that Sir Richard rugby tackle was taken out, yes.
No, they're
No, okay.
pretty heavily
yet.
wounded, but they're
Okay, I
still standing.
misunderstood. I'll try to land the finishing blow on him.
Okay.
Okay. Now I still have that +1 complication.
Yes, because
Okay.
they went for the eyes.
How dare.
It's just rude.
It is.
Mm.
Oh my god. Oh my god. 3 10s.
I was gonna say that's either a good oh my god or a really bad oh my god.
2, 4, 6, 7, 8 successes.
Nice.
Yes.
Damn.
Okay. Are you just gonna put all that into damage, or would
I
you like
am.
the cool? I will attempt to reduce it by enough because it's going down swinging, but because the highly trained operative.
Mhm.
So they only have 6 health to start with. I can reduce it to 6, but I can't reduce it further. You do the remaining 2 injuries. How do you knock this individual out? In fact, as there's only one left, I'm happy to like. Oh no, sorry. How do you knock this individual out?
Yeah, so after he gets knocked into the wall, and Richard takes a step back and the guy's like dazed. I'll do a kick to the stomach, have him double over, and then bring my ankle down on his neck.
Mm.
Yeah. Falls bodily to the floor, does not move, might be dead, who knows? But does not move for the rest of the scene at the very least. The one in front of Donna is going to try to attack. And we'll see how well that plays out. And then after that, regardless of how this dice roll how this roll goes, because there's only one left, I'm just going to say, with everyone's okay, that Donna gets like one last attack. We'll see what happens. How you want to go out? Isn't that like the Sonya Blade thing in the 1990s Mortal Kombat movie against Kano?
Oh my god, yes. I feel even cooler now.
Okay, so I got 3 successes plus 1 for the no, 3 successes including the enhancement from the knife. I misspoke, I do apologize. So we're gonna have 1 injury to Donna, and the oh god, where did that list of I've got too many bookmarks open now in the PDF. There it is. Where was it? Okay, so going to do 2 damage. 1 damage for the knife, which you can't reduce to 0. Going to knock down Donna for 1 success, leaving 1 success left. And as part of that, I guess, blind Donna with just another swipe at the eyes. He's going to try to leg it. So I'm happy, as I say, for Donna to have an action. Basically, if you hit with this blow, you're going to take him out of the fight. If you miss, he's going to get away. If if everyone's happy with that resolution.
Absolutely.
So I don't know why the knockdown wouldn't really do anything. It's just more for flavor. So it's difficulty 2. Any dice pool that you want to use for this attack that would be vaguely plausible.
Okay. I think at this point I will use my tequila bottle.
Okay.
Toss it at him as he's going. And that is 3 successes.
3 successes. It's enough. There's a like a dramatic slow motion, incredibly tight shot of the tequila bottle end over end over end as it shatters against the back of his head, and he just falls flat on his face. The corridor around you falls silent, save for the blaring of the klaxon. Just as a slight behind the screen thing. That was the climactic, like, here's the end of the one-shot fight, which is why it was not as easy as it perhaps could have been for a mid one-shot encounter. But that's what happens when you teleport straight to the end of the one-shot.
True.
So yes, Brian with a Y is unconscious. Liberal air quotes around the word unconscious. Tanya has a key of some kind. As a reminder, next to the big red button, there were 2 key slots on that central console. Unfortunately, you were observed taking the key, because that was the devil's bargain.
It was.
And over the loudspeaker, where is it? Where did it go? Where is the little snippet of read aloud text I pre-prepared? Man, imagine if I could remember things that I wrote. Did I even write one for this? I may not have done. Fine, cool. I didn't. Over an unseen loudspeaker, again, the voice of Dr. Helen Nagaius. I really didn't want to have to do this. And then like a beat, a pause, and then a harsh mechanical voice. Self-destruct sequence activated. All personnel to emergency exits. Followed immediately by remote launch activated. All personnel to emergency exits. A very discordant klaxon starts chiming out of sync with the other one. So basically, there's a lot of audio. Someone somewhere had a word with the audio director, and they've worked it out so that no microphones are blowing out. The audio levels are fine. It's just very disorienting. Functionally, if you're trying to sneak anywhere just by making no noise, there's no roll required. No one can hear you moving. However, you also can't hear people approaching you. You can still see people. There are emergency lights going off. But this was just because I wanted to use my thing. So right now, there is 1 rewrite in the pool. I am giving you a free rewrite. Sorry, there should be 3 because someone failed the roll. There are 3 rewrites in the pool. If the rewrite pool ever hits 0, because the drama is too tense, the base is self-destructing.
Okay.
There's no time limit to this because it's drama and narrative. But if your rewrite pool ever reaches 0, that timer reaches 0 and the base explodes with you in it. Your reconnaissance revealed the existence of a power plant, which is probably tied into the self-destruct sequence. And presumably, hopefully, the operations center where the remote launch has been triggered from also may have an override. I will also tell you this for free. The operations center is locked down. You can get to it with establishing shot, but you can't get inside it. High stakes drama.
High stakes.
Can we ask Brian how to get in? Or at least
if you get close enough, you can whisper, and he whispers back that the keypad next to door. I don't have code.
Brian,
I've got a security
sweetie.
punch card.
Oh, you
Might help.
do. Perfect. Never mind.
There is a distinctive confirmatory silence from Brian.
Good job, Brian.
Basically, that key card is good to overcome 1 larceny technology hacking roll for anything in this one shot. If you decide that is to get into the operations center, that's fine. But there are other things it could be used for.
Okay. Well, I can think of nothing better at this time, so.
Let's
Yep.
go.
Let's go stop that missile.
So, by stop the missile, you're heading to the command center.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. 2 ways we can do it. You can use establishing shot, or you can risk running into a patrol of 1 hit point cinematic scene combat goons instead.
So if we use the rewrite, that puts us down to 0, and the base
does.
explodes. So
I mean, I didn't say it was a good idea. I just said it was an idea.
That
it
was
is
that
an
was
idea.
3 words. Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah,
establishing
let's
shot
just
is,
walk.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
No, establishing shot's 1 rewrite. You have 3 in the pool, so you could use it if you
Oh,
want to.
Yeah.
right.
So we could, and then we would have 2 left.
And don't forget, if you fail a roll, the pool refills.
True.
Mhm.
True.
You just need to fail the roll first, and most of your dice have been on fire this entire session.
Yeah.
The curse of greatness, apparently. No, I'm good with using one of our 3 here.
Me too.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we'll go ahead and use establishing shot.
Okay, fantastic. So we get another montage of running through corridors. This is stock corridor number 5. As you transition to a more industrial feeling part of the base, there's no corridor. The conduits are exposed. The wiring is exposed. Every now and then, there's puffs of steam from an ambiguous location, and the flashing red light becomes more prevalent. There's more warnings, and then as you reach the end of the establishing shot, there's also now an amber klaxon, an amber warning light flashing as well. And as you round the corner, there's a T minus 5 minutes until self-destruct and T minus 4 minutes until rocket launch. Which, one of those is probably a priority for you.
Yep.
Yeah.
Right, I need to clear the initiative tracker as well. But you do reach an incredibly secure looking door. From reconnaissance that pretty much everything on this base, as I say, is like a dodecahedron bubble just bolted to the seafloor, functionally speaking, connected by reinforced pressurized hallways. But this one is probably one toward, based just on how far you've run. You don't exactly know where it is, but it is more or less presumably kind of on the extreme outskirts of the undersea base. So you know that you probably don't have time to do stuff here and then get back to the rocket bay if that's where you have to do whatever it is to abort the launch. So hopefully there's something in this room that will help. But the door is somewhat akin to a vault door. There is a control panel next to it that does have a keypad, and it does have a slot for presumably a security key of some kind. The door that's a weird noise. The door has a reinforced glass window within it with the metal wiring of safety glass. And you can see movement beyond it. It's quite thick. You probably have to be up to it to make out any details because the thickness of the glass kind of clouds and distorts the scene beyond. But that is where you are. You're in front of a door almost certainly to a command center of some kind based on just the imposing nature of it. There is a camera as well. This one is not hidden. You don't need to use your once per session, once per game thing again. It's just facing the door. There's a big red light on the bottom of it. So as I say, the punch card is an automatic success with no additional successes. So if there are complications, it won't get around those, but it will allow you to automatically succeed on any single technology plus cunning roll to hack something that this security card would help with.
Well, I have no technology. Does anyone else have technology?
I do.
I don't, but from what the director was saying, it's an automatic success on that, correct? So we just use the
It
card
is.
in place of that. So
Yeah, just use the
but
card.
even if you don't have technology, you're still good.
Counterpoint for resource management purposes.
Mm.
Oh, you also have 2 rewrites. I need to update the rewrite board. Whoops, that's the wrong chat. Twitch chat, you have 2 rewrites to use as well. Why not? There may be things within the control center that you have to hack. And it depends if you think if this is a high enough stake roll
That is true.
that you want an automatic success. However, there's probably no complication on this roll. Opening the door is probably all you're going to need to do.
Open the door.
Open the door. Can I give it a go with enigmas?
Yeah, sure. I'll do some code breaking instead. This is more just like trying to guess the code rather than hack the panel. I'm going to put this
Yeah.
at difficulty 3, but your spies, sure, you'll have enough background knowledge to guess.
Sorry. Could I assist on the roll?
Yes, I will double check how teamwork works, but because
Okay.
again, it changes based on the implementation of story path.
Understood.
Also, it changes what it's called in different games. It may not be called teamwork. Do you have any dots in enigmas?
I have 2 in enigmas. That is also an archetype skill for me, and so +1 to that from the amount of damage that I've taken. So
Okay, so if I can't find an answer for you in like the next 10 seconds, what I will rule is you add half your dots as enhancement to the roll, just to keep things moving.
okay.
Where's the story path system? When to roll dice, perhaps?
All the time. You are rolling all
Yeah,
the time.
true, all the time. Complications, stunts, directorial control. Oh, for those of you who had directorial control, regrettably, this is a different scene. So it is gone now. Yeah, just to keep things moving. Just so would that be 1 enhancement? Because you'd have 2 dice and you'd be contributing.
Yes. So it would be 3 dice altogether, but the 2 from the pool originally, and then +1 from the damage. But with rounding and all that, I would imagine that would be 1
Okay, so whatever you roll,
if we round down.
for Tanya, there's 1 enhancement on the roll from
Okay.
Sir Richard helping.
Only got a 4
Okay.
on the die, unfortunately, so 0 successes.
I will.
Oh no, it's just enhancement. You don't need to roll. David.
Oh, I don't need to roll. Okay, then yeah, just 1 enhancement. Beautiful.
Okay. I will use a quip as well. I'm going in.
Okay, I believe that's the second time you've used that quip.
Third, I believe.
Third, fantastic.
It's that good.
It is good.
I get 3 successes.
Okay, that is the number you needed. There is a moment of just quiet reflection as you kind of dissociate during all of this klaxon, and you run through everything that you know about Helena Gaius and the organization, which I completely forgot to name. And then you realize you don't need to. You recognize the model of control panel. You've trained on this, and you just hit a backdoor code. And there's a suitably significant chunk, suitably impressive chunk, as all of the steel rods within the door retract, and it rolls, grinding out of the way, sparks flying, a dramatic puff of steam, and the operations center is open to you. Within, this is, again, this is probably one of those sets where the producer has left a note about like make it look like people think an operation center should look like, and the set design has included a note of power plant control room. Got it. So you've got like walls just full of banks of dials and gauges and flashing lights that may serve a purpose. Who knows? And then in the middle, there's like a U-shaped console with a whole bunch of more like levers and cranks and buttons to press, lights that flash, with a terminal, a computer terminal in the middle, and then kind of forming the leg of the Y, with the console being the U bit at the top, is the computer itself. Again, this is 60s, 70s aesthetic, so it's big Bakelite construction with vacuum tubes and magnetic wheels.
Cool.
Smaller than it used to be, much larger than it would be like 10 years later.
Oh shit.
But you can see there are 4 spear gun wielding goons, which you know from experience during the previous montage. They're not that great. They're just kind of like they're cannon fodder functionally. And then in front of the console, which has another of these red buttons with 2 key slots next to it and a glass case in front of it, on top of it is who you presume to be Dr. Helena Gaius. She certainly matches all of the descriptions: lab coat, sensible, chunky heels. If we're looking at fan casting, it's a young Maggie Smith. Like high cheekbones, piercing eyes. For the moment, she clearly has heard you because that door was not quiet. But there's a studied indifference as she just coolly turns to face you. I see. I expect that you are here to ruin my scheme as you have ruined many of my predecessors.
That's the idea, darling.
I mean,
Can we speak
among
this
other
up?
things.
Get them. And she just gestures to the goons. Again, they've only got 1 hit point, so let's just, it's just one roll, yes or no. Where is the thing? However, she does have more than 1 hit point. So there's 2 ways we can handle this, and I'll throw it up to you to decide. Would you rather we go back to initiative and you go through the 4 goons and then target her, or we can have 3 people. There are 4 of you, right? Yeah. We can have 2 of you dealing with the goons, and 2 of you just trading blows with her. The people dealing with the goons, there'll be no dice rolls for you involved. It'll just be like your character in the background of the scene, throwing people into various banks of machinery. And when a full round of combat with Dr. Gaius has been exchanged, I will call upon you to do something in the scene to change it slightly with directorial control, maybe to add an enhancement or a complication to a roll. Or, as I say, full combat, we'll just treat it as the one we've just finished. It will go faster, trust me, because they have 1 hit point and there are 4 of them.
Personally, I would like to go right after Dr. Helena because I have an idea, trope idea.
Ooh. Okay.
Yeah, I'm happy just to fill up the background and deal with the goons.
Okay. I mean, I can go after her. That's fine by me.
Yeah, I'll deal with the goons as well.
Okay, so Sir Richard and Jasmine are going after Helena. So if the 2 of you want to make an initiative roll, it was athletics and cunning, or empathy and dexterity, whichever is lower. I will grab her initiative pool, and then once everyone's acted, Tanya and Donna, as I will call upon you to make some suggestions about stuff that you can do. I'm also going to, because of time, I'm going to lower Dr. Gaius's health pool because it just seems to make the most sense. Hey, she doesn't have a great dice pool.
I got 1 success on mine.
Okay, so I have a pool of 3 because apparently she lacks all empathy. Okay, so you got 1 success, was it?
Correct. I got 1.
Jasmine, what did you get?
2.
She got 3. Somehow. I mean, I know how.
Nice. So,
the 10 helped.
I mean,
As they do.
That works because Jasmine, you said you wanted to go right after she did, so
I got ideas.
I like it.
So she's just gonna again. So Richard is just the largest, most intimidating figure out of the 2 charging her in the control room. So she's just gonna lower her it's generic handgun and fire at you. Which would be that. Of note is that she's not as highly trained as the hench people you were fighting before, so she has a lower pool.
Okay.
And in fact, the round, again, you imagine you can feel the air current of the fake bullet as it passes your ear, and a flurry of sparks flies from the door behind you. She completely whiffed the roll. So it is Jasmine's turn.
So I want to use my trope, come closer.
Okay.
And I will
okay.
read it. It says, once per story, you may involuntarily bump into a nearby character, hug them, or otherwise enter their personal space and swipe something from their body, such as a key card, ID lanyard, floppy disk, or other semi-critical necessity. So I am guessing she has the other key.
Okay. Because this is a trope, I will allow you a reflexive action to try to like give her a quick visual pat down to try and find it if you would like.
Yeah.
I guess larceny, unless you have an idea for another skill, plus
No.
cunning is probably the best
Oh no, this
combination
is
here.
perfect. Yeah.
Or composure, to keep calm, to keep your head while you're looking for it.
I like larceny and cunning. Yep. All right, that helps a lot. 3.
Sorry, difficulty was only 1. Yeah, you can see around her neck there's the telltale glint of a chain. It goes beneath her clothes, but there's definitely something around her neck that she's trying to hide. Probably is a key based on the trope of the genre.
Right. So I want to run up into her personal space, make like I'm going to attempt to disarm her with one hand, but the other one just swipes at the chain and yanks it off.
Absolutely. There is a does the trope say that they notice it's gone?
It does not say that.
Okay. Because of what it is and the way you've described it, she is going to realize you've got it, but you get it without any repercussions.
Perfect.
So like, there's slight resistance from the chain, and then the clasp snaps, and you pull it out, and you reveal that it is in fact an identical key to the one that Tanya has.
Excellent.
And then it would be Sir Richard. Actually, does that say it's a simple action? It feels like it should be a simple action.
It doesn't say. It just says that it just says what I read
Kinda
out.
happens. By the sounds of it.
Up to you.
I think in the interests of like just keeping things moving, I'll call that a simple action, because you've done a significant thing.
Sure.
Works for me.
So yeah, Sir Richard.
Yeah. So in response to her shooting, I'm gonna say, is that the best you've got? And move forward. So I'm thinking for this a might and close combat thing, but more of I guess a less violent approach, but more of a grappling approach, kind of trying to get the situation under control.
Well, you can invoke the grapple rules if you wish. There is a grapple mechanic, a whole grapple system, if you will.
See, I was not entirely familiar on that. I thought it would use similar rules to like the might plus close combat thing, as I've seen in other things. So that's what I was going off of.
It's basically an attack.
Okay.
You use close combat specifically,
Okay.
although I guess you could argue for athletics as well. But rather than say like increasing damage or blinding them, you spend those successes to establish a grapple control them. When you establish it, the number of successes that you spend sets the difficulty for them trying to alter the status of the grapple in any way.
Perfect. Yeah, I'll go ahead and do that.
Fantastic.
And roll that real quick. So, 1, 2, 3. So got 7 successes plus the 1 from the quip, or the quip was an extra die, correct?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, so I gotta roll 1 more die there. So a total of 8 successes on that.
Oof! Wow.
Nice.
Yeah, I mean it's difficulty 1. It's her basic defense. Yes.
While,
so your choice now
sorry.
is set the so you can establish grapple. That's fine. As part of when you have someone grappled, you can then deal damage to them if you wish.
Sure.
You can also pin them, which means they cannot defend or move on the next turn.
Okay.
And a couple of other things, like you can go prone and pin them to the ground, etc.
Okay. I mean, I think pinning would work pretty well here. So I'll go ahead and do that. Kind of incapacitate them, get that situation under control, and this is kind of a I'll hold them and you punch kind of situation as how that's turned out to look. So I'll go ahead and do that.
Okay, so if that is your plan, what I will suggest as a ruling, if you want to set like the grapple difficulty as 3, that gives you 4 successes left.
Okay.
So she would then need to get 3 successes to escape the grapple or turn the tables on you, essentially. Spend 2 of them to pin her in place so she can't move or defend. That gives you 1 left over, which you could either deal 1 point of damage with, or you could give Jasmine 1 enhancement on her next attack.
Ooh. I'll go ahead and give Jasmine 1 enhancement.
Fantastic. I will make a note of the grapple difficulty is 3.
Yeah, and with all this, gunfights, broken alcohol bottles, getting into places we shouldn't, really reminds me of Venice.
That is the end of the this part of the scene. Donna and Tanya, is there anything you would like to do in the scene? You can essentially like help your allies. You can hinder their opponents. If there are any environmental objects you'd like to interact with, that is fine too. If you'd like to see if you could find a deactivation for the self-destruct or other, that would work.
I would like to look for a deactivation for the self-destruct or something to stop the missile.
Okay, so that would be a technology plus cunning roll, probably.
Okay.
In all likelihood.
I have no technology.
Valid.
It's just flashing lights. I don't know.
Because this is initiative order, there's no way I could help with this. Help with this roll.
I will, if you want to, yes, but the next, like, because you're because it's a weird mix of initiative and not initiative. But I'll say that your next action has like an extra +1 difficulty because you're splitting focus to help to remain aware of what's going on as well as deal with.
Yeah, I got 2 successes, so I don't know, maybe.
Would I need points or dots in technology? I just realized that. So I was going to use larceny.
No, this is more just because you're specifically looking for like
but
the right button to press, essentially.
Gotcha.
2 successes is more than enough. Yeah, so the big red button that they're in front of is probably the emergency abort, the abort button, the emergency stop for the whole rocket situation. From this room, you can't see anything on here that would be a prevent the self-destruct sequence. You can see a large button that's been depressed that says self-destruct sequence, or like emergency destruct. You can't see any way to stop it happening, but your eye catches a bank of machinery. And I know you've used your once per session thing to see secret exits and stuff. That is absolutely a secret door.
Wow.
What lies behind it, you don't know, but equally, is it such a bad thing if this base explodes?
Probably. Well, I'm quite attached to all my limbs, so I would like them to stay on.
This is an evil organization where the leader has a operations command center well away from anything, almost certainly with an exit strategy attached to it.
Likely. At least I found how to stop the missile.
Yes, absolutely confirmation that you just need those 2 keys.
Yeah.
Probably turn them at the same time. Slam that red button. The rocket stops.
Okay, I will announce that with like, we need 2 keys over here.
I will show my key.
Dr. Gaius struggles against Sir Richard. What would Donna like to do in this weird initiative flux system?
Are these goons essentially dealt with?
It's one of those background fights that will go on for as long as the scene needs it to go on for.
Okay.
So you can do whatever you want during it, just when you're off camera, like you're just throwing punches in the background and
So I have the trademark get in the back seat and close your eyes, which is tied to technology.
Okay.
So I can maybe use that to, you know, as in tandem with doing everything else, just kind of like snatch the keys and stick them in and turn it like, you know, in a quick way or something like
like it.
that, bypass it.
Yeah, I like it. So obviously, ordinarily this wouldn't require a roll, but if you want to do it all together at like one time yourself, there will be a roll required, and that trademark would absolutely apply.
Cool.
Yeah. Probably dexterity because it seems like an agility reflexes thing. Although if you would like composure to maintain your cool while doing this, that works too. Plus technology.
Okay, they're pretty much the same, so that's fine. And what do I add for the trademark again?
2 additional dice to the roll.
All right. Okay. All right, that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 6 successes.
Fantastic. I'm just trying to think because more than you need. I'm just trying to think if there's anything I can suggest to like help spend those successes for other people to use. You know what? Would you like? So if you don't spend them, they just make your action like better in some way. Would you like to do that?
Sure.
Fantastic. So yeah, you grab the keys, you slam them in, you turn them at the same time. The glass cover pops up, and you break the red button with the force with which you depress it. Like the plastic cracks. Abort. Launch aborted. Would you like to activate escape pod sequence?
Computer, I would like to activate escape pod sequence.
The section of the machinery on the back wall slides open, sparks flying from the floor as metal grinds on concrete. And the secret door that Tanya's noticed, and you can see there is a small corridor beyond that leads to a reinforced, one could describe it as submarine-like door.
Oh boy, we have our exit strategy, folks.
Nice,
Uh,
nice.
Excellent.
Wonderful.
T minus, and then like static breaks out over until self-destruct. Because again, it's not tied to time, it's tied to rewrites. Back into the initiative though, Dr. Gaius is currently trapped and would very much like to not be trapped. However, this is absolutely not her forte.
I figured.
So she struggles against Sir Richard, apparently trying desperately to free herself, slips a hand into her lab coat and drops a glass vial on the floor and stamps on it. I need an integrity stamina roll from Sir Richard, please. Full disclosure, she needs it for herself as well.
Gotcha. Let's see, I don't. Okay.
The difficulty is 3.
Darn. I got 2.
Okay. So you are stunned as this extremely pleasant, if soporific vapor like fills your lungs. Just trying to find the conditions list. I assume there's a conditions list somewhere. Combat conditions over. Stunned. You have +2 complication to all rolls while stunned. Doesn't say what. Willingly reducing a dice pool to 1 due to this condition, and rolling despite the risk of failure adds a rewrite to the pool. I will rule that it wears off after your next action.
Understood.
But she's essentially doing a mixed action to try and break free. So I'm just lowering the difficulty by 1 now that you're stunned.
Understood.
Okay, she's used every trick in her arsenal and she barely escaped. But she can't move. Like she's just broken free of the grapple. She's still on the platform. She's still slightly woozy from whatever she's just done, and I will halve the enhancement that you were granting. So there's now +1 enhancement for Jasmine's next attack against her, because she's still thrown off balance by the fact that she was just grappled.
Understood.
Speaking of, Jasmine, it's your turn.
Perfect. I would like to use my trademark, there's my opening, which is tied to close combat. And I would like to attempt to knock her out.
Yes.
That works for me. So I will just take her. So the difficulty, let's say, is 3. I'm just halving her current health.
That's for me.
Because I'm aware time is a ticking.
Yeah. Oh, good. That is a lot of dice. With the one enhancement.
Let's say so difficulty is 3. There is a 1 level. There is a minor a +1 complication that if you don't buy off, you will also need to make an integrity stamina roll to not be stunned by whatever gas she just released.
Okay.
But you will still succeed or fail if you pay off the success.
Excellent.
Or don't.
I got 3 successes.
Okay, so
I feel like I should've got more.
It's enough to knock her out. She just was that including the 1 enhancement from Sir Richard?
Oh no, that's 4.
Okay,
Yes.
enough to pay off the complication as well.
Perfect.
Yeah, as she's pulling herself free from Sir Richard, she looks up just as your fist snaps into her face, and she just collapses bonelessly to the ground. You know she's not dead. You know she's just unconscious, but she is taken out of the fight for now. There is an escape exit. I assume you will take it after Sir Richard's wooziness passes.
Yeah, as she slumps into, I'll catch her and be like, I think we'll get a handsome bonus for bringing her in for questioning. Yes?
I would
Absolutely.
think so.
Yeah, she'll come with us.
You still keep those restraints on you?
Oh, darling, do you know me?
I'm just going to make it. Don't mind me making a dice roll. I'm sure it'll be fine.
I'll gesture to the opening on the floor. Ladies first.
I will make my exit.
Okay, would someone give me a number between 1 and 3?
3.
Okay. So you get to the submarine door, and it opens as you approach. It's all automated, and it is just a small submarine. It's barely big enough for all of you, plus Dr. Gaius. And as whoever is last turns to close the door behind you, you notice running as fast as he can towards this emergency escape submarine, Brian with a Y.
Brian!
No.
He got 3 successes. You set the difficulty as 3.
Oh, nice.
Ooh.
Nice.
There is just enough space for him to pile in after you.
It's gonna be a little cramped.
Yes, if none of you can drive a submarine, Brian with a Y can, because
I can. I definitely can.
Fantastic. So the submarine powers away from the base, and we cut out of the extremely cramped, crimson lit confines of this escape sub to an overhead view of the base. It's clearly a miniature under a blue light with a thin tank of water on top of it, with the camera looking down, as a series of carefully choreographed explosions, full of dramatic music swells, erupts throughout it, and the submarine we follow the submarine as it pilots back to the surface, arriving next to the rig, and we see that the ships that had been circling it in that stock footage at the beginning of the episode, they are now miniatures docked next to a miniature of the oil rig, and there are little people running all around it as the security forces sent to support you in case of worst case, sent to assault the rig while you were infiltrating the base beneath it, are rounding up the last of the guards on the oil rig itself. but agents, you have been successful, and the credits roll, dramatic fanfare, and the we zoom out of the conceit of this being a TV show, and we see a boardroom of studio executives who this was being pitched to, and they share a look and they nod, and somewhere a lone writer knows that they won't get the credit they deserve for creating this, but Steadfast will continue.
Yes.
Yeah.
But there we go.
Okay, they'll get their credit in about 30 years when the documentary comes out. So
Absolutely,
that
yeah.
time is coming.
The cult classic status will elevate them in the eyes of their fans, and
Exactly.
they'll make a killing on the con circuit.
100%.
Way bigger than they would have if they got the credit initially. So
But yeah, there we go. So we are running a bit low on time, so we're going reverse clockwise, anti-clockwise order. Bliss, is there anything you would like to say about yourself?
Hi, I'm Bliss Steel. You can follow me on X at Bliss Steel. I play tabletop RPGs and do other stuff.
Fantastic. Just Claire, or Claire if you prefer.
Claire, yeah, I'm just Claire. You can't find me anywhere. I am like a fart in the wind, a thief in the night. I steal in, join your games, and disappear. Thank you for running.
No, thank you for playing. David, anywhere people can find you on the internet?
yes, actually. So hi, David. You can find me on social media over on Twitter at DG the Nomad. Also from the Rolling Nomads channel. I am the project manager over there. I show up in a lot of our games, sometimes showing up in games like this as well, slowly expanding. I run our D&D game over there on the Rolling Nomads, Colder Than a Twitch's Wit. Definitely a fun time. Should check that out. Yeah, and that's me.
Fantastic. Regrettably, Gilbert's missing in action. Gilbert has been in chat the entire time, though, so shout out to Ramos the Nomad for being a fantastic tech support.
Love you, Gilbert.
Luna, anything you'd like to say?
Yeah, hi, I'm Luna, or Druid by Night. You can find me at Druid by Night on all the things, including here on Twitch and Patreon. When I'm not streaming on my channel, I'm over at the Rolling Nomads, being either the social media director or playing in one of our many amazing games. Also, the Rolling Nomads is hosting a charity with Trevor Project for Pride Month. That link will be found on our Twitter, in our Discord, and in our chat throughout the month of June. So if you're interested in contributing to that goal, you can find that in those places, or hit me up and I'll send it to you.
Fantastic. And I am Ryan, Comrade Balls. I stream on Twitch, but it's not actual play stuff. I run a show for Onyx Path where I write adventures, I write community content. I was going to stream the writing of this one shot, but I just ran out of time before the con and focused on that. And yes, we are running out of time. So we'll be going to, I believe, Changeling the Lost over at Plastic Age Plays. But thank you all so much for watching. Hopefully you've enjoyed this. They came from classified actual play, despite the rough spots in the middle. And we hope you have a fantastic rest of the con. Goodbye.